Welcome and thank you for clicking on my video. Today we're going to be talking about a big day tomorrow because we only have a half day. So we'll have to see what the market can do in half of a day and we'll pay attention to that. But something we need to do going forward is some technical analysis and point out some things that are looking a little bit weird going into tomorrow, some mixed signals. So let's get right back into it. First of all, the goal here was, hey, watch out for the higher low on the 30-minute and watch out if we go and make some kind of divergence. But a lot of stocks have actually already made that. So we are paying attention to the fact that, hey, if this 2 hour is able to curl up on a full 2 hour bar, on a positive bar, that's looking pretty good for some more upside. And we didn't even make it to the daily expected move, cutting a little bit short on that, but it looks like we might be targeting that weekly expected move. And this is where it's important to stick around when we get to volatility. So I'm going to talk about the SPY and the Qs, and then we'll get into volatility because that is the mixed up signal at this point. So what we can pay attention to for the SPY are some daily expected moves for tomorrow. 598.63 to the upside, 590.75 to the downside. The downside move is still within range of our buy zone. But first, let's talk about this upward area, because if we react up to this weekly expected move, just remember that this was our breakdown area when that flushing really started. And if we really want to get bullish, we're going to have to potentially take back 600 pretty strong and keep heading to the upside if you want to see some kind of Christmas squeeze. Now, this is a good sign. It's just the 2 hour is very deep into negative territory. So you want to be aware anytime that that crosses back down. That would say, hey, we are continuing, especially with the low volume. If we keep leaking higher like this and then you see some selling come in, just watch out. There could be some sneaky rich guy who's actually not taking a full vacation week and is planning to dump on people up in these areas. So this is where we want to be cautious, but right now it looks like we have made a pretty strong base. This is a pretty strong base. You can see the rejection divergence. We were paying attention to live the 15-minute chart saying, hey, if we're going to keep seeing these wicks, maybe we should pay attention to if this is going to be a higher low, and that's exactly what we ended up getting here. So we can pay attention to that and just look forward to tomorrow where maybe this is some kind of consolidation to actually head to that weekly expected move as we are pointing towards it. Something that still would be, hey, maybe we're just going to consolidate further and then see a move right after Christmas would be if we get some kind of pullback like this and then we have a daily expected move in a buy zone. You can see at this point that this buy zone, yeah, we came out of it for a brief moment there, but ever since then, we just keep reacting back into it. So now we're above it. That means it's a buy zone. If we get below it, it can become a sell zone. And that's the main thing we need to take into consideration with the SPY going into tomorrow. On the 30-minute chart, the Qs didn't fully make it into the buy zone, but we were paying attention to the right things, and that's important. We were paying attention if this 30-minute was going to cross down, hey, we could have went and made that divergence. Now, we still want to be paying attention to that because the 30-minute is really close to the center line, but we do have some daily expected moves for you, 526.77 to the upside and 518.97 to the downside. Now, it's important to pay attention to these shorter time frames because if this crosses down, hey, we could go for another dip down into that zone, or we could see something crazy, but on the light volume, I think that is a little bit less likely unless we see some kind of terrible news that causes some rich people to come back for this week. So we'll see if this is able to push down back into that zone. That would just suggest that we potentially have the opportunity to make a move higher if we're able to cross back up into positive territory, because you crossed up from down here and now you're going positive. There's a lot of drawings on my chart, but you crossed up at a lower level and you were able to go positive. So if you cross up at a higher level, it's very likely that that next move will take you into positive territory for this 2 hour or for the 30-minute chart. Now, key difference from the SPY to the Qs here, notice that the Qs have not confirmed that 2 hour move higher. So we still have to really be paying attention to that 30-minute, because what are we really talking about? Well, when you see a big daily move down like this, a lot of the time you want to see if that can revert back to the 5-day, and then we'll see what happens from there. So this will be a interesting market because you really wanted to see a squeeze to get back to bullish. Right now, I do feel like the pressure for sellers to come in is still there. So we want to take back some key levels, and I think that key level is actually your daily expected move tomorrow. I think if you can sturdy hold that and you don't see a major rejection at the monthly or weekly, you actually could see something good into the end of the week, but just pay attention because it looks like we're pointing towards that move, and that's as high up as the options market has priced in for the Qs at this point. So just note, this right here is our 68% zone. Looks like we're kind of pointing in that direction, but we have not confirmed up the 2 hour, and this is the top side move for the monthly, which would mean there is some heavy resistance in here. So I'd pay attention for sellers to step in that area. We were looking at those and it seemed pretty Bullish, honestly. It looked like pretty good. It looked like, hey, we're trying to make that higher low, but it is on light volume, so we got to be a little bit cautious with it. And something that is telling us to be cautious with it is volatility with this look. So I want you to be paying attention to this, because this is a 30-minute divergence on the MACD, on the RSI at the same time for the volatility, right? VIX. And if that can cross up, we can make a move back above 20. So that would mean maybe some selling is coming in. Is that to create a stronger base and we just see a 2-hour move and then that fades? Or are we going to see this take off again and take everyone by surprise during Christmas? I think that is very unlikely, but I want to be open to some kind of pullback in the market, maybe to go back down into our buy zones. But I just want you to be aware of this signal going into tomorrow, because, you know, where we're at with the market, you saw that waterfall of selling. Well, that's just a glimpse of what is most likely coming in 2025. So we do still want to treat these signals very seriously, but if this just curls up for a brief moment and curls back down, hey, most likely we're going to squeeze and see this thing get down to 12.12 for volatility. Another thing that I am paying attention to for bullishness is if the dollar can turn down here. This would be a good indication that people are going back into stocks and out of cash, and that's what you want to see, because if you keep heading up in the dollar, you have the opposite reaction. That's kind of why I wanted to bring up volatility at the beginning of this video, was just to show you guys, because if this daily does not cross back down, right, if we do not confirm the divergence on the MACD, the divergence on the RSI at the same time, we're not able to curl down, but instead we pick up, well, then you got to be aware of the monthly chart. You can see the monthly chart is starting to cross up for December, and this has been a pretty major sell signal. Now we know that the dollar can bottom, but before the actual market, but for the time being, we called that bottom down in this area, right? We saw the 4-hour divergence and that led to this upward move. We've actually bottomed in the dollar for a while here. We've broken through the key level. So maybe we get a little retest of that, but really pay attention, because this is crossing up, and that is a big deal, because you'll notice these little markings here are the tops in the market. And I want you to pay attention to this one kind of on the left side of your screen over here. And I want you to pay attention to this one right here and this one right there. So the left side here was the overall one of the tops for 2018, and you'll notice that the dollar quickly, it actually crossed up here. It bottomed here, crossed up here, and then a month later we actually saw some kind of top in the market in 2018. And notice that it was when it actually was about to go positive. Right here we actually saw the top as we went positive, right on the same timing. And then you'll notice right now, which says, hey, what are we going to do? Because this thing is already in positive territory, meaning I really have to pay attention to this, and this reaction from the market, if the dollar starts to pick up more steam here, could actually come in pretty quick. So just pay attention to it. I'm just talking about these things. I know we're seeing some decent price action to the upside, just on light volume is the problem, but I want to keep in our minds the risks, right? So we don't forget, like, hey, yeah, we're looking for some kind of rally, but at the same time, if things start to turn down, I have to understand that these signals are here, and that just because it's Christmas, it doesn't mean something bad can't happen. That does not mean you cannot take bullish trades, right? That's not what I'm saying. I'm not taking bullish trades or anything like that. I'm just paying attention to those trades a little bit closer, because we have some bad macro signals, and that's all I wanted to get across in this part. Apple not seeing the best moves to the upside, and I just want to point out that divergence is still there. Now you are curling up again, which is a good thing. Hopefully you can get rid of those divergences for Apple, but I just want you to be aware this is kind of lackluster. We do have that signal from volatility, so just be open to some things curling back down. And I'm going to mainly just be going through these things a little bit quickly, because we have very similar looks. So we're going to see some things that look similar and some other things. They're kind of in their own category. It's like some stuff still up high and looks like it could use a little pullback, and then some stuff is saying, yeah, I'm bottoming here, and we're going to get into that. So I just wanted to show you guys this one, because this is the main thing I'm paying attention to, and we're paying attention to if that 2-hour crosses down, right? That's the main two things I'm paying attention to for risk. If you're trying to catch a Santa rally or something like that, then I really doubt that Apple is your guy. It can do some crazy things, we'll see. It's just the signals are saying that this is weakness in momentum, so be cautious with Apple, and you have a volatility signal going into tomorrow. Tesla might actually be an opportunity though, right? So this is the different part. Apple looks like it's holding up. Maybe it continues to hold up on the light volume, and then we'll see what happens going into January of 2025. But I just wanted to show off Tesla real quick, because what are you looking for here? Well, a simple 2-hour swing trade, and this is where you're looking for those buyers to step in on a week where they might might not necessarily be trading, right? A lot of people aren't necessarily trading this week, but we have great signals, and this is why I was shouting out Tesla. Obviously, still negative, right? Still negative on this 30-minute chart for Tesla. So we have to be aware that that is there and that this can still cross down into negative territory, and we really can't feel comfortable until we take back that 5-day and see that 2-hour cross up. But I think it's very likely if that 2-hour crosses up, hey, what's most likely to happen in positive territory? Probably test the high or go make a new one. So the great signals here, this is what we were pointing out live. You have some great divergence down there. Not as great on the RSI, but definitely there. So I am paying attention to this, and it looks like the 2-hour for Tesla wants to make the move higher. This is where we can click over into the next one. We can go over to Amazon and say, well, why did I like Amazon? Well, because this 2-hour was really going to whip back up maybe into positive territory, and Amazon actually gave you the signals first. It was one of the first ones. It kind of was a rapid one, but you do see it down here, and I think that's important because you do see it down here. I think that's what we really want to pay attention to. Kind of flat on the MACD, but you can see on the RSI, it is dramatically upward for the RSI, which would suggest, hey, this could head to the upside, but look at that 30-minute right now. So this is one that is saying, hey, I might need to go down for a triple dip, or maybe something bad's happening, right? We want to treat it very seriously with especially how the dollar looks, how volatility just got that big spike. You just saw a big waterfall of selling, and there's light volume, so they can do a ton of stuff with this market over this week, and we want to pay attention to anything that can really hurt us. So if I'm long on Amazon, I'm not seeing us cleanly take back the 5. I might be convinced, hey, this thing might need to pull back for a higher low. Maybe it needs to dip down to lower prices to create a triple divergence, and that's where you just want to be open to the fact that this doesn't have to be a Santa rally, right? This can move down even during some kind of rally. Maybe it is still building and building and building in this area in order to get that move, but it also could be something more sinister than that. So you want to treat things very seriously. Don't start your 2025 off with some kind of, I'm not going to manage the trade, this has to rally here. That's not what has to happen. A stock can do anything at any moment, and I don't want people getting caught up in this has to be a bullish time, right? It can be, the signals look decent for it, but I want you to still be paying attention to risk because of the dollar, because of the yields going higher, because of plenty of things that are at all-time highs that look like they're about to vomit. Now, this will be very difficult for me to say those bearish things are going to come to fruition because look at this move from NVIDIA so far. We were looking for this move. We were looking for it. Oh my goodness. And it just kept going. So that's great. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. No. So what we want to see is tomorrow. We really want to see the next couple of days because that'll tell you a lot. If this daily is crossing up, that's crossing up on a very strong move at this point. So if you're able to cross up past 141.12, I think you're back on the bull side and you actually could see more upside. We'll obviously be paying attention if we see some wonky things happen and then we see some reversal signals. But for now, if NVIDIA curls up on the daily time frame, we want to be aware that that is negative. So we're aware of the lower high. But at the same time, we talked about this going up to this level, creating some kind of head and shoulders. So we're paying attention to the right things. We're seeing NVIDIA get the upward move. We talked about this last week. And so that's just fantastic for us to see. And if we can get some confirmation on the daily, hey, you might have yourself a simple swing trade for NVIDIA. Now, if you stuck around to here, this is where things get good because Meta was the one I kept shouting out. Now, Meta, if you didn't remember, Meta is the one that actually confirmed daily divergence, just like NVIDIA. But it's backed off to our level we really wanted to pay attention to, right? We even cut below 598.41 to go retest the actual breakout area, and that's fantastic. That's actually even better than testing this one because if you're able to reload at lower prices, you can see another good upward move. So what we're paying attention to right now is the fact that during the live show, we were like, which one looks the best? Meta does look the best at this point. We pointed that out this morning during the live show. I mean, look at that divergence. It's fantastic. You even have triple divergence here on the RSI. I just really love this setup so far. Doesn't mean it has to work out. It's still negative, so I'm still paying attention to risk, right? I'm still paying attention to the risk that is there because of those macro signals. I don't want to be caught up in that, even if I just have a smaller trade. Now, we will notice that this might lead to the 2-hour curling up. Now, we had a 2-hour divergence here. You just confirmed daily divergence. So does this have to be a massive move that takes us through the ceiling? Is that really, really highly probable right now? It'd be more probable if the daily curled up, but if this 2-hour curls up, I don't think you're quite safe yet. You could get some kind of lower high go, and remember, we were pointing towards retesting the breakdown area now. We just went up. We go down, we retest the breakout area, we go back up to the upside, and we test the breakdown area. And I think that could be something that we need to watch out for Meta. It doesn't mean that this can't be a bullish look later on. It just means, hey, if we run our head into here and then we see some problems, we might want to be open to, hey, if this is going to cross down, that could get bad if it's close to the center line, but I can be open to a higher low, or I can be open to a divergence on the 2 hour, because that is more of a signal you want to see to actually turn up a daily time frame. But I mean, I can pull up a lot of these charts, and pretty much it's this. It's if I see a 2 hour give me a strong bar here, right now you're getting all of the swing trade signals except for the MACD lagging behind, right? So this is saying a lot of your indicators, at least for now, are saying, hey, we could make another upside move, right? We could see another 2 hour trend move higher. Maybe we go and chop out this high and then we come back down, and this is some kind of Christmas trap. We'll pay attention to it, because that's kind of what the signals are looking like. It's kind of looking like we need to watch out for early January. So maybe you're actually inviting more pulling back in this market at this point to actually see a stronger move into 2025. That is something that can happen. But the reason we just want to be careful with these 2 hour moves going into tomorrow is just because of this signal from volatility. Notice the 2 hour by the center line. Just remember this signal going into tomorrow. We'll talk about it more in the morning. And I'm sorry that this video had to be a little bit brief, but I do appreciate you paying attention to it and joining to get those daily expected moves for tomorrow. I was kind of surprised with the sizing of those daily expected moves. I thought it would be really lackluster with a pretty short trading day, but turns out it was decent size. So the main takeaway is we have a lot of bullish looks. We have some looks that are holding up at high prices that could get a little bit bearish, like Apple, but we are seeing some bullish looks from things like Meta, from things like Amazon and things like that. So we're paying attention to it, but we're also watching how we can get screwed, which is this signal from the VIX right here. If volatility is going to come in, it doesn't have to mean selling in the market, but if we see the SPY roll here, maybe we need to make a stronger base, but it also could be a little bit worse. We just got that waterfall of selling, so let's just take that into consideration going forward. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do appreciate it. The link's down in the description if you want to learn this Christmas. We have the Christmas sale up. We're doing our best sale during Christmas. Every single year I'm going to do this sale to help new traders come in and learn. And if you've been trading for a little bit, I've heard a lot of people come out and say, you know, I took this course and I was trading for a long time. I took this course. It actually cleared up a few things for me, and my trading has gotten significantly better. So there is something to learn in it, and it is on a Christmas sale if you want to get that this week. It would be fantastic, and we're going to keep that into the new year. So thank you guys so much for watching, liking, subscribing. I gotta say thank you for we're so close to getting to 10K by Christmas, and that was my goal, and you guys are making it really close to happening, so I cannot thank you enough. I will be trying to put out as much content, even with all the family in town. I'll be trying to do as much as possible for you guys, so thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful night. Peace out.